Alrighty, what's up guys, Single Player Nacho here, and I'm inviting you to jump into the mind of a possessive, ghoulish puppeteer known as Donna Beneviento. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Not really. This lady has you hallucinate, trip off of a weird-ass plant, and you'll be seeing gigantic, slushy baby fetuses chasing after you. Now that's a bad trip. Alongside Donna Beneviento is her only friend, Puppet Angie, and I could not think of a creepier design than what we're looking at here. There is something organic about Puppet Angie, at least in her hallucination form. Tentacles, flesh, rotting blood, and it's just very reminiscent to a dead corpse put inside of a puppet. Then you have Donna Beneviento, who covers her entire face. You take a look at this painting and you'd say, why would you do that? She has a nice face. Well, like Puppet Angie, who's disfigured clearly, it's like a mirror into Donna Beneviento's psyche, whose face also has a bulbous gelatinous. I have no idea what that means, but it just makes sense. Born into the royal Beneviento bloodline, Donna's parents unfortunately committed suicide while she was still a baby. This set off unfortunate events in Donna's life. She became very mentally unstable. The more she grew up, her sanity suffered. But Donna found solace through her toys, her puppets, and her dolls. But this is barely scratching the surface as to the explanation for why or what is happening inside Donna Beneviento's brain. What is this fixation with Ethan Winters? Is there a way to explain the interaction through Donna's past? And is Donna Beneviento actually evil or a victim of her past trauma?
Get out of the way, ugly! I want to see! He's awake!
Oh, keep glory! One day your head will actually figure evil!
Fight!
Very cute. I liked how they added little hops to Puppet Angie. Now right off the bat we have the entire 4 houses in the building with some werewolves in the background, and Puppet Angie is the very first in your face. I think that actually explains something here. She's the most invested already into a complete stranger, aka Ethan Winters, because you have Lady Dimitrescu and Heisenberg battling it out over who gets to keep Ethan and cut his hands off repeatedly. But there's something different about the way the approach of Angie here. Donna is more interested in the person rather than the situation, which tells me there might be a little bit, a very tiny bit of sympathy. Of course, that's not the case. Donna Beneviento wants to kill Ethan. But there's a very childlike amusement to having a new person in the family, Ethan Winters. This scene though perfectly capitalizes Donna Beneviento's brain age. It's very limited, unfortunately. She's definitely acting like the youngest of the bunch here. And again, it's because of the loss of her parents. Now, is there any account that can explain Donna's childhood? What was it like? What did people think of her? Well, we have the gardener's diary file. It states, ever since childhood, she, or Donna, has always feared others due to the scar across her face. This shows a lot of adversity in Donna's childhood. The other kids probably made fun of her, and we're seeing a bit of bullying here. And that may explain the detachment between the outside world and Donna herself. That begins to make sense. But also an interesting tidbit here, she's had the scar since Donna was little. So interesting that when we see that portrait, she has a nearly perfect facial structure. Is this who Donna would have liked to become? It's pretty sad, but there are explanations here.
I've been waiting for so long. I'd make a much better daughter than Rose. Please, won't you stay with me forever?
Okay, and there it is, the typical villain laugh. This raises the question, how many people, how many unfortunate visitors have arrived to the Beneviento household? Of course, many of them never returned. Outside of Ethan Winters, there's another account, the gardener, from the gardener's diary. She ordered this gardener to plant yellow flowers around Miss Claudia's grave. The gardener goes on to account that these flowers encouraged hallucinations that had him see his long-lost wife. Sadly, though, this beautiful moment is interrupted by what we all know happens next. The gardener is instructed to meet Donna at her house, and I'm sure that's the last time we ever saw of him. And now we have a perfect MO about how Donna Beneviento attains her victims through their memories, something that is held very dearly in their hearts. Exactly the way Ethan was enticed to enter those gates, his wife and his baby daughter Rose. Once he was at the garden, Miss Claudia's grave, that's the exact moment when Donna's powers entered Ethan's nose. Ethan places that picture that means a lot to him, his family, and now his memories and everything he holds dear are in the hands of a very manipulative Donna Beneviento. And how does Donna repay Ethan's memories and loved ones? A gigantic, slimy, slithering fetus that symbolizes his fears of what his daughter actually is, a monster or a mold baby. His wife, who, by the way, is dead at this point in the game, is recreated as a life-sized mannequin. It's pretty fucked up, but a brutal, gory picture of Mia is placed next to this mannequin. I also have to question why a radio is being used rather than the hallucinations that were being used at the gate. Why is Mia speaking through this radio? It's gotta be because this is actually Mia's memories through Ethan. Now, the "I'd make a much better daughter than Rose" line, it shows us that Donna is still thinking about the hierarchy within the four houses. Mother Miranda is still mommy, and she'd love to prove Mother Miranda wrong in becoming the vessel for Ava. Unfortunately, though, Mother Miranda thinks otherwise already. In Donna's medical reports after her Kadu implant, Mother Miranda thinks that Donna Beneviento is mentally underdeveloped and she's an unfit vessel, so there's no winning there. Regardless, we will see what happens when Donna Beneviento's back is against the wall and one of her visitors, Ethan Hans Winters, is finally able to escape.
Don't leave. I can't let you.
You're still alive, huh? You better find me quick before my friends murder you! Tick-tock! Your life's on the line.
And there it is, the first line spoken by Donna Beneviento herself. This whole time we've been hearing Puppet Angie, and her first words are, "Don't leave. I can't let you." There's a certain nervousness when this line is delivered by Donna Beneviento. A crack in her voice here and there. I can totally tell that Ethan's escape is right around the corner and this is real now. It's not a game with puppets and dolls. One of her visitors or prospects to become her family forever is leaving her, and it's really mentally and visibly shaken Donna Beneviento. Now, Puppet Angie's next line is weird because she says, "Ooh, you're still alive, huh?" But if Donna is connected to Puppet Angie, she would know this, so there's no reason to say that. So I think there's actually a separation between Donna Beneviento's mind and Angie's mind when it comes to how things are being played in real life. It's almost like a play in Donna's mind. Donna knows what's going on, but if Angie, her main protagonist in her mind, doesn't know, then she has to follow up with the play because, again, this is all a gigantic act that is being played out. Except there are real people being involved and killed, their memories are being tortured, all because Donna Beneviento wants to control them. Now, what happens when this facade finally shatters?
Everything would be better if Rose wasn't born. You do this to Rose too. You're never going to get out of here. Stupid idiot! What are you doing to my cute friends?
It's over.
Now, let's get an actual, non-sarcastic F in the chat for Donna Beneviento. She was a monster, let's not forget that. It's almost like she had no choice, given all of the sad circumstances around her birth even. Everything would be better if Rose wasn't born. This line harkens back to the fact that Donna still wants to be Mother Miranda's sole daughter. Out of the four houses, she wants to be the most important one. So now with Rose in the picture, it's messed everything up. She takes a delicious chunk of an Ethan Winters finger and says this in retaliation of the situation. You do this to Rose too. That one is very interesting because, again, Donna's back is against the wall. She knows that this is almost all over. So as a last-ditch effort to get into Ethan's psyche and to try to stop all of this, she questions Ethan's morale. Why is he going to these lengths to try to rescue his daughter? Of course, it doesn't work, and a stab to Puppet Angie's forehead is a stab to Donna Beneviento's final lifeline, and she fades away with everything that has happened in that household. Her wooden friends look on at Donna's final resting place. Every single doll mourns her. The once vibrant plants and herbs lined outside the household, now dead, gray, and decaying. A very sad outcome, but of course, a necessary one. There's no amount of yellow flowers to be able to hallucinate a happy, joyous ending for someone as tragic as Donna Beneviento. And that's what makes Donna the doll without a key. Well, thank you guys so much for all the support. I hope you enjoyed the video. It truly means a lot, all the continued support. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video. Comment down below your thoughts. How crazy do you think Donna is? And comment down below any suggestions for other lore videos. Have an awesome rest of your day. And as always, stay single.